I believe that God made me for a purpose. And when I run, I feel His pleasure.
That's not me. I spent 33 years in the Army doing this right here. And after all that time, you know, I'm just kind of old and broke. Now my wife, bless her heart, loves to go out and run. In fact, she'll do half marathons, and whatnot. And for me, I just like to photograph them. Check out this video right here. So with that in mind, today I am going to go out and I'm going to photograph a high school cross-country tournament meet. This is a lead up to the state finals. There's going to be hundreds of kids there from all over the state. Join me today as I show you how I like to photograph cross-country. Today I am out at a sectional championship here in Gilbert, Arizona. Behind me, the schools are starting to set up. They're not even all here yet. I'm here about an hour before the actual race start because I want to check out the start line, the finish line, some of the course locations. The schools are all starting to pile in. There's going to be over 60 schools here, total of 8 races, about 100 runners per race. Talked to the course director, talked to the timers, so I know exactly what start and finish is, how that's going to run. So I'm going to go check out the course, check out the start, the finish, some of the spots along the route, hopefully a little more scenic, more visually appealing, and get some good photos. So I'm here at the start line, and basically what's going to happen is all the runners are going to be all lined up. There's probably going to be about 100 runners per race, and they've got them in these little bins that they marked out on the ground. The bad thing for photography purposes is that I'm going to be shooting into the sun at the start. Just going to be a big giant mass start, so maybe that's not that big a deal. Fortunately, the finish line is facing into the sun, so I won't have the problem with the sun. So it's good I came down here early because I get to check out the area and actual grounds and see if I can find some picturesque spots, you know. So behind me are some trees, that'll be good. They're going to run around this little lake right here, which is not bad, you know, and much better than some of the other spots that are in this park. There's some spots that are just dirt and don't look that great. So I think this is one of the spots I'm going to grab as they run around this lake right here, and hopefully get some good photos. So the good thing about shooting cross country is the equipment requirements are pretty minimal. If you've got any kind of camera that can have a, you know, telephoto lens of some sort. I mean, I'm using a 70-200 today for 95% of the photos. If you've got something like that, it goes out to about 200, so you can, you know, get a nice zoom range as they're running past you. You're good. A lot of times I'll just take single frames, you know. I'll track them. I'll use back button focus, track the subject, and I'll just take single frames. There's no reason to crank off a bunch of photos. I do have a 24-70 for some of the more, you know, kind of trying to get more artsy wide angle, especially for that start, but that's about it. 70-200 is just about perfect for running events. As far as settings are concerned, really it's a bright sunny day. You know, I'm just going to set it pretty much wide open because I want to get a nice blurry background, isolate the runners. I want to use a high shutter speed, at least 1,000th of a second, which is not difficult on a bright sunny day like this. My usual go-to settings for bright sunny days are aperture priority, f say 3.2 or a 4, set ISO around 200 to 400, depend on if there's overhead, you know, cloudy day or something like that. But a sunny day like this, ISO 200, f4, aperture priority, go to town.
Come on, RK, let's go, RK! Let's go!
Hey, as far as autofocus settings are concerned, usually with this, because it's easy to track single individuals for the most part, I'll just use like a single point. And most of these shots are vertical, so I'm kind of move the focus point up a little bit so it's on their chest or their face area. Try to get a better chance of getting the shot in focus. So usually the best places to photograph to get individual runners is usually about at least halfway through it, because that's when they start to separate from the crowd. At the end, they're definitely separated for the most part. You might have onesies and twosies together, but anything at the beginning, they're just all bunched up together, and it's hard to get individuals at that point. With those, I just try to go, try to get larger group shots just to show the mass of people coming along, with those starts. So at the end, when you get to the finish line, that's when you get the real big final push from individuals, and get some pretty good shots that way.
All right, now that we've gone out and shot some photos, let's take a look at it and see what we got. But before we do that, I have to explain something I forgot to mention earlier. If at all possible, go online, call the course director, do something, but get a copy of the course map. This is what helped me find all the positions to the start line, the finish line, any places where runners would be going across, both going and back and forth. So do yourself a favor, get a copy of the course map. All right, let's take a look at some photos.